Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's probably my last video of the night. I'm going to talk about some NFL news. I haven't done one in a few days, so I've done 2 NBA, so I decided I'll do NFL. So, some stuff I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is Rams head coach Sean McVay. They told reporters after the game that wide receiver Allen Robinson needs foot surgery and will miss the rest of the season, per Adam Schefter. I haven't really used Allen Robinson much this year. He's definitely had a disappointing season, if you ask me. If anyone tries to use these injuries as the narrative for the Rams season, just to be clear, they were very bad before the injuries hit. Rams just sold all their future draft picks to get Allen Robinson. It feels like he's missed the season up to this point because they barely used him on offense. He's definitely been disappointing this year. We'll see what the Rams do. They just can't catch a break. And they don't use Allen Robinson that much. And it's like, he was, people are going to be like, oh, he was playing this year? Somehow he was, it's just you missed him with no draft capital to rebuild. And they've just been disappointed this season. It feels like they're tanking now without draft picks. And he's feeling like he's been out all season anyways. One of the worst signings of the season, in my opinion. Probably one of the worst free agent pickups, because they really haven't used him. Even with that, they feel like they haven't used him that much this year. So, they're just losing everybody at this point. When ring chasing goes wrong, should have just taken the bag. And the Super Bowl hangover this year for them is bad. They need a hell of a lot. They'll need a lot of help this draft season with all their draft picks. To get back to being contenders. The worst season ever for a defending champion. And just a bust of a signing. But yeah, let's get to another injury. Hashtag 49ers running back Elijah Mitchell sustained a possible MCL sprain during Sunday's win over the hashtag Saints, per head coach Kyle Shanahan. Mitchell dealt with a MCL sprain earlier this season, but the team suspects this one is not as bad, but more testing ahead. So at least the good news how this is, they suspect this one is not as bad as the first MCL sprain, but Christian McCaffrey's definitely been a pretty good feeling running back. I mean, I think it's a little bit of a loss, not too big of a loss. I think it'll still be a loss. But when he does get back, they'll probably still split 50-50 carries between Mitchell and Christian McCaffrey. I feel like he's just injured every other week. I mean, so tough. I mean, the dude is so talented, but he's always injured. Hoping for a healthy full season sometime soon. Hey, that's more touches for Christian McCaffrey, though, so I wouldn't be complaining. Hashtag Bears wide receiver Darnell Mooney will get more tests Monday. But the theory is he suffered a season-ending ankle injury. So that's bad news right there. For Bears fans, Darnell Mooney is most likely out for the season with a season-ending ankle injury, which is definitely sucks. But we'll see how the Bears move going forward without Darnell Mooney for the rest of the season. It was an ankle injury in the loss, which definitely stings. You lose the game, and which they were probably going to lose anyways. And you lose your starting receiver, probably for the season. It's to repair torn ligaments. It's a tough end to the season for the promising receiver. But we'll see what the Bears do now. Maybe they'll start trying to tank. It was just a freak injury, but I think the Bears are just going to go for draft position at this point. And Eddie Jackson got hurt. I think it was because of the turf there, and he got a bad injury. Hashtag Dolphins left tackle Terron Armstead suffered a pec strain. That is not as bad as originally feared. He'll miss some time. I didn't say how much time he'll miss, but The hope is he will be back on the field at some point relatively soon. He's dealt with a lot of injuries through his career. He's played through a lot. So he's going to miss some time. He probably bruised and took himself out for abundance of caution, maybe. He's just really fragile. Really fragile. He's been injured all throughout his career, but when it defines sometime, it's like 2 to 6 weeks probably he can return. But yeah, the man's tough. If he can play, he will, but if he can't, he won't. And so we're gonna have some more news. There's Tristan Wirfs injury might not be as severe as feared. For the young promising left tackle. He walked around the locker room, showered, had a boot on his left foot. Only as he left the locker room. There's hoping it isn't as long term as it can be. X-rays were negative. Source said there's more optimism, so hopefully he isn't out for a long time. He's their best offensive lineman. In his last start before giving way soon to reinstated Deshaun Watson, Jacoby Brissett leads the hashtag Braves to an overtime win to keep Cleveland alive. It'll be an interesting stretch. Deshaun Watson coming back, first game against Houston. We'll see how he looks. Yeah, it's just going to be interesting. More news. Jets coach Robert Saleh could be Mike White. He made easy look easy. That's why, but I know it's against one of the worst defenses, but that's why he said easy look easy. That's pretty much what he said. From Miami-Dade police on Odell Beckham Jr. being removed from a flight this morning. At approximately 9:30, officers from the Miami-Dade Police Department were dispatched to a medical emergency at an American Airlines flight. The flight crew was concerned for a passenger, Mr. Odell Beckham, as they tried to wake him to fasten his seatbelt. He appeared to be coming in and out of consciousness prior to the departure, fearing that Mr. Beckham was seriously ill and that his condition would worsen through the expected 5-hour flight. The attendants called for police and fire rescue. Upon the officer's arrival, the flight crew asked Mr. Beckham several times to exit the aircraft, which he refused. The aircraft was deplaned, at which time Mr. Beckham was asked by the officers to exit the plane and did so without incident. Mr. Beckham was escorted to the non-secure area of the terminal by the officers where he made other arrangements. So that's on today's events. Seems like they thought he was sick or something. It seems he was just sleeping, I think. So, Ale for the, Ale right there from the American Airlines flight. Hopefully Cowboys still sign Odell Beckham. Nebraska hired Matt Rule today. They did more than that. They did more than just set up their future. They also offset the vast majority of the $34 million the Panthers still owed him. This was the thought when Carolina hired Rule. If he didn't work out, they would be covered. He'll make $72 million over 8 in Nebraska. So they signed an 8-year deal. The Bills ruled star Von Miller out for Thursday, obviously with a lateral meniscus tear, but everything else probably up in the air. He'll be reevaluated in a week. The Rams have no plan to shut QB Matthew Stafford down, and sources say Coach Cliff Kingsbury and Murray used the time not playing to get on the same page. So they're trying to get on the same page, and while Matthew Stafford's probably not going to be shut down yet, but they should. Sean Watson's going to be back next week. Aaron Rodgers' thumb injury is more serious. It's actually playing with a avulsion fracture. I don't know why he's playing through. He might as well just try and see what you have. And Jordan Love. David Shaw, the Stanford coach, will step down effective immediately. Major college football news. Maybe he'll become an NFL coach, maybe. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's all I'll say for this video. Until next time, I have a lot. Peace.